Right here. Top lane Gragas purchase guide. This will be called starting items. Is what you buy for the starting items. Majority of the time, about 90% of the time, it's a Doran's ring. Followed by health potions and warding trinket. And that's that. Most of the time it's this. But if you want to throw away some tankiness for some more early game power, I guess, you'd start with a sapphire crystal. But normally I don't do this. Like 60 HP, 15 AP, that's pretty useful early game. This helps you get your Sheen power spike, but then you'll lose out on some tankiness and some AP at the same time. But it's up to you. If you grab teleport, this is pretty good. But usually, even if I have teleport, I start a Doran's ring. Alright, right here, first recall. First recall, sapphire crystal. Most of the time, I have money for only a sapphire crystal. If I get a kill, it's a sapphire crystal and an amplifying tome. That's my purchases when I have some kills. Sometimes I recall and I grab one of these. Or upgrade my trinket. Where is it? Trink. Visions and trinket. Upgrade my trinket into the sweeping lens. This is the first recall. Usually it's just sapphire crystal, health potions, maybe mana, and then a ward and upgrade trinket. But if not, actually if you score a kill, right here, you buy these two. And maybe one of these depending on how much money you have. If not, then just one health potion. And don't upgrade your trinket. Keep it as a ward. And then there's second recall. This is where your power spikes if you have some AD runes on. Sheen. Straight up Sheen. And bam, that's some power built in. That's about all you'll be able to get. Usually, most of the time. And then, yeah, potions. Stealth ward. And upgrade the trinket if you haven't done so. Wards are always necessary. 75 gold, that's like chump change. But early game, that's actually a lot. So never mind, that's not chump change. And then, third recall. Usually you can get it all at once if you're really fed on the second recall. But usually, you're not that strong until you grab a Sheen. And then you grab this. Glacial Shroud. CDR, armor, and mana. Everything Gragas needs. After that... Oh yeah, it depends on who you're against though. If you're against some AD top laner, this is what you get. Glacial Shroud. But if you're not, if you're against some AP champion, usually you'll grab a null mantle. And then a Spectre's Cowl into a Visage. If they're not really AP heavy, you can just stop at a Spectre's Cowl and then buy a Glacial Shroud. And then turn that into a gauntlet. And there you go. After that, you'll need boots. Oh yeah, hold up. Boots. If you have money on the second recall, boots are really good. If not, you grab it on the third recall. After Null Mantle, Glacial Shroud, or Glacial Shroud. And if you don't have money for Glacial Shroud, you grab these. In this order. Null Mantle, boots. Cloth Armor, boots. If not, then Glacial Shroud, boots. But if you really want Glacial Shroud, you could skip boots. Because your E is a really Really good escape, and by now you should probably have an ultimate. Level 6 ultimate. To further your escape. Let's see, what else is there? Mid game now. Mid game. Here's what you should have. What boots you want. You choose Ionian boots, Sorcerer boots, or Mercury treads. Mercury treads is really good against Irelias and Annies. Anything that has a easy to do stun, you know? And long duration stun. Like on command stun. Point and click stun. Fucking Irelia. And then Sorc shoes. These will boost your power, your early game power by a lot. Like it's noticeable. So these are good as well. Plus, this build usually has some CDR built into it. But if you grab these boots, usually I grab these boots. You'll have 40% CDR once you finish your gauntlet. And your, whatchamacallit, your visage. Because you get 5% from masteries. And after that, you should have a gauntlet. If you're against an AD top, you'll have these two items. Most likely. But then, they provide no health bonuses. So they're not that tanky, even though it gives 60 armor. Depending on the enemy, if they have a few APs, like 2 or 3 of them, the jungler and the mid laner, you have a Spectre's Cowl. If not, you have a Ruby Crystal, since that now turns into a Giant's Belt. Grab a Giant's Belt into Sunfire or Randuin's. That's up to you. So what you should have is Spectre's Cowl. There we go. These items. 1, 2, 3. Between one of these two. This is MR. This is health. And by now you should be good enough. You should be tanky and you should be strong. Because this furthers your power spike. Because Sheen only does 100% of your physical. This is 125% of your physical. And it helps with last hitting. Or clearing a wave because of the ice aura. Or AoE. Then right here. Final item build. Late game, son. Alright. Let's see. Boots. Got boots. Gotta have one of these. This is better. Distortion. Distortion is really great for on Gragas. Because he needs to use that E flash tackle. Usually, like 90% of the time, they don't see it coming. Never ever upgrade into Lucidity boots. Or not Lucidity, Distortion boots if your flash is on cooldown. Unless it's like last item. If your flash is almost off cooldown or it already is off cooldown, grab Distortion. That takes out like 1 minute from that cooldown. So good. More playmaking, less cooldown. And then for MR, Visage. Straight up. 3 core items. This is really all you need. But you can make it better. By grabbing a Sunfire. Or an Omens. Up to you. This is more power. And this is more tankiness. But this is cheaper. But this is tankier. And it can slow them. Up to you. And if you need more MR, if this is not enough MR and they're still chunking you, you grab an Abyssal. And there you go. Complete build. This will boost your power. All you really need to one-shot the AD carry if they have no magic resist at all is Abyssal Scepter, Iceborne Gauntlet, and a Flash. Maybe Ignite. Usually you can one-shot them by then. Just these 2 items with the Flash, E-Flash, you should be able to one-shot the AD carry. If they have no Aegis, because Aegis gives like 20 magic resist, aura. If they have Aegis, you're probably not going to one-shot them. But if they don't have it, it should be easy one-shot. But if they're at 70%, straight up overkill. That's if you decide on a scepter. Because if you grab a scepter instead of Visage, you have 0 health items, none at all. You will need a health item. Here we go, late game. Or game over. One of those. Let's see, lucidity with distortion, that core items right here, and then it's between the abyssal, sunfire, or thornmail. Okay, one of these 3 you choose. Oh yeah, I should put this up here too. This one too. You choose one of these 3. This, usually the AD carries will kill themselves when they hit you, or slowly kill themselves if they hit you while you're carrying a thornmail. This is really useful, especially because majority of the AD carries now, they buy IE first, and usually they don't have lifesteal, so this is still a really good early game item. And then after this, we got the health, we got the magic resist. What do we need now? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 items. Got the boots. Actually, yeah, it could just be like this. All these items and the last item. Gosh. Where the heck is it? If you want more power, grab a Zhonya's Hourglass. Or if your team is already AP heavy and the enemy has nothing but MR, grab a Void Staff. Alright, this is really situational. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Usually your build is done. If they have a lot of magic resist on the enemy team, you have Void Staff instead of Zhonya's Hourglass. Up to you. You don't even, if you want to go full tank, you could replace the Zhonya's with a Sunfire Cape. And that's it. Final late game build. This can be substituted for this if you want to be extra tanky and less damage-ish. And yeah, that's it. More randoms. There we go. Ignore this. This isn't true. You don't need 3 Sunfire Capes. But yeah, that's late game. Oh yeah, one more thing. What skills do you max first? Alright, for top lane, it really depends. If you're top against something that's ranged, like Rise or Gnar, you max Barrel. And the build I just gave you, you don't do that build at all. You do the mid lane build. You can look that up online, or I'll do it next time. But you max Barrel, and then you build the way a mid laner Gragas would build. If you're top lane, you go Bruiser against something that's melee range. Lissandra's fine too, but Barrel maxing would be safer against her, since her harass is kind of short range, but it's long range if you're behind a minion. Plus, when you body slam into a Lissandra, she could snare you. But if you collide with her, you'll stun her and she snares you. But usually when you're top against the melee champs, you max either Drunken Rage or Body Slam. You choose one. The benefits of maxing Drunken Rage is it's really strong. Matter of fact, it's your strongest skill. That's not an ultimate. It might even be stronger than your ultimate if you have a Lich Bane backing it up. And the cooldown goes down to about like 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Throw in a little CDR, it's like 3.3, something like that, but it's super low. But body slam, it's the least useful late game skill on Gragas, but it's one of the good early game ones. Like with 70 AP, you could one shot the backline of the minion wave with body slam maxed. One shot, but with barrel cannot one shot the backline. You could have 200 AP and not one shot the backline. But body slam, you could one shot the backline pretty easily. And it's more burst. Because when you have drunken rage, they'll see you drinking and they'll see that you're walking towards them and they'll just back up. And then it'll run out on the duration, the time frame you have to use it in. And bam, you're vulnerable. Nothing left. But when you're against a Nasus, someone that is melee range and has to farm, you have to max this. Because if they back out from the creep wave, they're not building up their Q, the thing that increases on power every time he kills a minion with it. So maxing this, and if he hits a minion, you hit him with this. Chunk after chunk after chunk. And happy hour too. It goes great with Drunken Rage. Since this goes down to like 3 second, 4 second cooldown, 30 mana cost, this is about 55. This is 60, 70, 80, up to 90. It depends. This really good early game bully skill. Low mana cost, lower cooldown than barrel, unless barrel is level 3, then it'll be lower cooldown. But this is really good bully skill for early game. Potentially snowballing you. But this is really strong. Because the way Gragas plays is that he ease in drunken rages first, and then he ease in, body slams them, applies drunken rage slam onto them, and then barrel roll for a little 30 damage maybe. It's really weak level 1. Then he backs out, waits for the next rotation. But when you max drunken rage first, you can just poke them without using your body slam and your barrel. You just poke them with this. Walk up to them, smack them, back up, walk up to them, smack them, and it will chunk them. It'll do so much damage. So it's up to you if they're melee. But if they're ranged, like I said, you max barrel. And if you decide to max barrel or body slam, you should always max drunken rage second, no matter what. Really strong early, mid, and late game skill. And yeah, that's it. That's what you max. And grab ultimate whenever you can. Just watch it. Oh my god. Like, the sound applied only to the right side of my ear. Alright, that's it.